That's your only mission now. Take care of your engine.
Not able to attack.
Put it into a different engine mode. Just, yeah, being told apparently we're hearing to just reduce the RPM in the engine all he can, so very late downshifts. You see, what was it?
It was the 34 car, 13 Marshall's post 3.
I think that car's got no brakes, or near no brakes, because don't forget how he almost had an off at Mulsanne corner, and here.
But this is Yellowly's car, isn't it?
That is Yellowly's car.
Oh,
hang on a minute. They said a pass for position.
It is.
It is.
How is he behind? And he's made the stop. Has Esteban Masson been off the road? It's a 4-minute lap. Esteban Masson has had the delay.
Yes, he has.
What has happened there? So Nick Yellowly has taken the...
Served the drive-through, because his last pit stop was 32 seconds.
And recaught and passed Esteban Masson, who's just completed a lap in 4 minutes and 1 second. So VDS Panis Racing overtook for the lead, and I've lost it again immediately.
Unbelievable. What happened to Masson?
And Yellowly's got a 22 to 25 second advantage. He's pulled out 3 seconds in the first sector of the lap.
Well, that's the pass, but I want to know how Yellowly had the chance to pass, and a shake of the head in disbelief for Panis.
I think it's over. That's astounding. 16, but we always said, something's happened in the last 25 minutes. Yet again, this race.
Masson 2.2 seconds slower in sector 1 of this current lap. And that's in addition to all the time he lost on the previous lap.
Got 2 cars. Well, one of them in a winning position at that time, one of them in a podium position, that are struggling to get to the line here. Montai first form, by the way. Ricard leads in and out for his final stop. The same for Alessio Rivera. They're separated by almost 90 seconds. Charlie Eastwood under pressure from Mattia Drudi, by the way, for the final podium position. It's another one to watch. Look
at this, John Elkann with a 3rd different driver lineup in 3 years. I mean, you can't write this stuff.
Unreal. 15 minutes to go. I'm laser focused on the lead gap, I can tell you that. 50-51, holding station.
You're our stat man, Graham. Last privateer team to win against factory opposition. Here's the Ferraris. 51 and 50.
Depends how you define factory opposition, but Champion Racing, the last privateers to win in an Audi that did have Audi factory drivers aboard that car.
Good shout.
Before that, by my reckoning, it would have been the TWR Porsche in 96 it was not factory supported, 97 it was.
So Wirtz, Christensen, that era? Wow.
That was the previous year, the Davy Jones Manuel Reuter car.
Quarter of a century ago. Goodness, or 40 years or something. I think it's like 10 years.
Whatever else happens here, we've had Le Mans 24 Hours with significantly more instant than this. It's been a remarkable race. We're seeing here how tough it's been for the factory Ferraris. They're not going to win this race. It's as simple as that. Danny Juncadella is getting a warning flag for track limits, but he's not the better place of the 2 Corvettes. 51 and 50.
Gap from the leader, Robert Kubica in the yellow Ferrari, to 2nd place, Kevin Estra's Porsche, 12 seconds now. Estra is not reducing that gap. 12 seconds, 14 minutes remain. And the 2 factory Ferraris, 3rd and 4th, are 2023 winners. In 3rd place are 2024 winners. The 2nd of these 2 cars in 4th place. What has to happen for Cadillac to get a podium? Well, the answer is they both basically have to blow up, because the Cadillac is a good half a lap behind. Will Stevens, car number 12, in 5th place, minute and 43 behind the 50 car, minute and 53, so 2 minutes basically behind the 51 car. So that little gap between the 2 Ferraris, just a second and a bit, And Anthony, that's to help 50 stay out of the turbulence, to get more cooling in, just to try and make sure the brakes, the engine and everything don't overheat in any way.
He was told not to stay even as close as he is, but it's funny, you start looking at where Estra is, 12 seconds away from Kubica, and then you start looking back at all the things that have happened through the week here at Le Mans and the run-up towards this very moment where we are now. And like you said, Graham, minimal intervention from safety cars and full course yellows and slow zones. You start to turn your attention to obviously little things that went wrong during the race, but for car number 6, I think the major thing that went wrong was actually qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That car being underweight.
Absolutely.
And being put to the very back of the hypercar field. For the first time, I think, ever that I can remember, this distance of 12 seconds might come down to qualifying.
Well, it does. It doesn't take into account the fact that most of that was negated behind the only safety car, but it doesn't get away from the fact perfection pays.
But imagine where Estra would have been if he had started at the sharp end.
He could have been leading, that's the point.
Off into the...
He could have been
Look at the
leading.
rate of knots he came up through the pack. And what's Frocco going to do? He's just lifting ice.
Can I just point out he didn't have the pace of the Ferraris in qualifying either, so he would have started behind them. However, the gap between the Ferrari that leads and the Porsche is half a second an hour.
Yep.
Now, tell me that Ferrari's got a massive performance advantage, and I'm going to laugh at you.
Well, I mean, again, we've got here, what is it, 6 cars on the lead lap, 11 minutes to go. I remind our... It's a disappointment, VDS Panis. What has happened to that car?
Well, listen, you know, for a moment they grabbed the lead and it's gone away from them, and it looks like it might be a mechanical problem, but they are going to finish on the podium at Le Mans. First time VDS Panis have raced here. That's not too shambolic, is it?
Panis have raced here and have finished on the podium,
but not as VDS Panis.
Not as VDS Panis, but that's a horrible way to do it. Just to confirm here as we watch Robert Kubica, that was into Europol, having led the race, getting a drive-through penalty, taking that penalty, which put the VDS Panis car into the lead, and something's gone wrong at that very moment, and coming out from the drive-through penalty, into Europol have just passed him back again for the lead. The car's just gone round in 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
VDS Panis 11 seconds slower on that last lap than Nick Yellerly in the Inter Europol car. It's not driver error. They have had a mechanical problem, and that's the same with the 2 Ferraris.
It's 11 seconds slower, and Nick Yellerly is not pushing in any way. He's 4 seconds off, 6 seconds off the pace.
He doesn't need to. The car behind him is 10 seconds slower, but the 2 Ferraris, 51 and 50, dropping back. But with every sector, Robert Kubica is stretching this advantage over Kevin Estre. A lap ago it was 12 point something, now it's 14 point something seconds.
I'll tell you what, don't miss. Do not miss full access on this one, because, again, this ridiculous race comes up with scripts that if you put them in a film, you wouldn't believe them. People would say it's not realistic. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's bewitching, and it's frustrating, as you've seen.
I can't watch Le Mans 24 hours and look at the clock with under 10 minutes to go, thinking that's it. I'll never be able to say it. I'm 2016, never again. I know that. There's still. I can tell you, there's still an awful long way to go.
Here's the thing, and with apologies, and people do forget you were in that car.
And this guy here, no, Yefei.
Yes.
He was in LMP2 when his car broke down on the last lap.
Leading.
He knows exactly what it feels like to watch your... he was in the car when it happened, though.
Yes.
The throttle sensor failed.
Yep.
9 minutes to go, OK? If he doesn't win the race will be the 20th win for Porsche. It'll be the first win for Penske. But
how broken is Robert Kubica? He's leaning in the car. He's rolling around.
4.5 stints broken at the end of the 124 hours.
And he is still 2 seconds a lap quicker than Kevin Estre in a Porsche. It's astonishing, his resilience.
But it does look as if this car is going to win, and it does look as if we're going to have a first ever Polish winner, a first ever Chinese winner, and a 35th British winner of this race, which will extend the record of British winners over that of the host country, 35 to 28.
Busy hands for Mick Schumacher in the number 36 Alpine in 12th place. Still harassing Loic Duval.
Yeah,
I think he was harassing Duval at breakfast time.
He ran wide, didn't he, on the exit of Mulsanne corner, did Mick Schumacher, and just kissed the gravel with the left rear. That's what spat the car sideways momentarily, but he's hunting down this Peugeot in front of him.
So this is the pride of France, isn't it, really? We'll have a quick chat about LMP2 as we watch these two go at it, as they seem to have done throughout the latter part of this race. LMP2 into Europol competition. What an astounding way to win this race. What an astonishing three-year record. Winners in 23, second here in 24, and on the way to a win, and a Polish team with a Polish driver winning both classes at the moment as things stand.
The significance of this battle is championship points. That is the battle for 11th, but number 4 Porsche ahead of them won't take points. So that is actually the battle for 10th place. So Schumacher wants to get ahead of the Peugeot, not just because it's there, but also because there are points in it.
Yeah, in LMGT3 on board with Robert Kubica, but in LMGT3 would be a second consecutive win at the 24 Hours of Le Mans from Monza. In comes the Peugeot,
and
that's when it splashed.
That is them done. Loic Duval won't finish in the top 10, but Mick Schumacher will, at least at the moment. 6.5 versus 6.55 to go.
It'll be a tiny compensation to Porsche. They'll be bitterly disappointed they've not made it to the win overall, but a 100% record of wins in LMGT3 with a second win here.
Nick Nielsen's face shows it's much nicer when you win, and these guys might be about to find out. In the next 10 minutes, they will either be utterly crushed or utterly jubilant.
Yeah, I've been super impressed with, again, Nick Nielsen's efforts behind the wheel. Masterful display of exactly what it takes to be a world-class endurance driver, and through no fault of his own, he finds himself in this position.
Okay, Joey, so you're allowed to slow down a bit, protect your engine. The race is frozen anyway, so take care of your engine. The 5th car, so the one behind car 50, is at 2 minutes, so you have margin.
Yeah, the next car behind 50 is Will Stevens in the number 12 Hertz Team Jota Cadillac, and he is nearly 2 minutes behind. So reel off the throttle, upshift nice and early, keep the revs down, top gear Ted all the way to the line. Don't overstress the engine, but don't slow down too much, Anthony, because then the cooling systems aren't going to be working efficiently.
It has to run at a certain speed. These cars are designed to work in a specific window, but there's very little actually a driver can do in these modern day cars to protect the engine. There's nothing you can do, for example, with the gear shifts. It's all fly-by-wire and controlled that way just with a flick of a paddle. It's not like you can depress the clutch pedal yourself and slowly sneak it into the next gear and be gentle to all the controls. It's a flick of a button, so what more can you do? But yeah, it's just keeping the revs down is the main thing at the moment for Giovinazzi. I do think I feel like they're overplaying it just to try and calm the two drivers down as well, just to try, emphasising and telling them, wow, you've got a serious engine problem here.
Discipline is important.
Exactly.
I wonder if they felt they genuinely had a chance of putting Esther under threat. I'm sure they would try. I'm sure they would try.
White flag.
Yep.
Shown on the in-car marshal.
Slow-moving vehicle. I wonder if that is that into Europol car as well.
It's 34 car still circulating. 4 minutes 11. Yes.
The target is to bring back the 2 cars in one piece to score the point. So save your engine.
Well, they've eventually settled for a World Championship position here. Now, I believe what we're being told, that there is a relatively potentially very serious problem for the 51.
And for the 50, both cars, it seems, have the same engine problem, otherwise they'd wave the 50 through.
Robert Kubica, meanwhile, comfortably 16 seconds ahead, under 4 minutes to go.
And this is so often the case, Anthony, in a team of identical cars, and they effectively are, they're homologated to be identical, you can't run it different. It's the little things that make the difference. Sometimes driver lineup, sometimes how you get dealt the deal by the safety car. 4 minutes away, 3 minutes away from the end of the race. Roger Penske looks like he may go away empty-handed, but again, he knows the history of this place too.
Yeah.
Just can't see there was any more that his drivers could have done, that his team could have done for car 6.
And on this lap, we move to a position where there are 5 cars on the lead lap, because the lead car has just passed the 7 Toyota.
Second greatest number in history after last year's 8 top-class finishers on the lead lap.
That sort of tells the story of the race, doesn't it?
Does a bit.
Kubica must be listening out for any rattle or shake from the car. It's such tense moments. You've come so far and everyone knows. We've all seen the stories, maybe some of us been involved in those stories, and it's fully understandable by no one wants to believe it until you actually pass that checkered flag. But Kubica has been fun to watch and to listen to. He's been assertive when he needed to be on the radio. He took the fight to the 2 works cars, didn't back down for team orders, and stood his corner well, and I think he was the right man for the right job at that moment. But then, ultimately, that luck in racing you often need, with his car being there for him and his other drivers as well. I've seen them through while the other 2 have fallen, like you were saying, Martin. They're built the same, but something always happens when you've got even just one other car, one other teammate to fight against. Something will always happen during an endurance race of this length where it takes the fight out of your hands.
Yep.
And that's what's happened with the 2 works cars and Kubica's car today.
Manthey first form leading in LMGT3, and Ricardo Perret could barely look, never mind breathe. Richie Leitz taking them into the final minute, maybe the final lap of this race. Matt Campbell looking a little downcast in the Penske Porsche Motorsport.
Just about to get towards the final lap of this great race, and if they complete this lap in this first position, the 83 Ferrari amongst the plaudits they'll earn, it will be the 3rd lowest starting point in history of this race to take the win of the race. 13th on the grid to the win.
Good news for Manthey that the leader has passed them, so if they're just in front of the Ferrari as it gets to the line when time runs out, they'd have to do another lap, so they have saved themselves a lap of hard work, and we all know what can happen in the last lap at Le Mans.
It's the final lap, lap 387. So 10 laps short we will be of the distance record, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's been absolutely fast and furious throughout, hard fought in all 3 classes.
Yeah, I really feel for the drivers, totally empathise with them, because mentally, above all else, this has been such a difficult race for them. Flat out, every lap, and lots of team orders to be battling with, not just Ferrari, multiple teams out there. It came down to the nuances today in racing, and that wears you down anyway, even in a 2-hour race, let alone 24 hours. So they are going to be hanging, and I bet Kubica cannot wait to cross the line to just get out of the car.
They're going to have to lift him out of the car. He's that dead. You just saw him go by Nick Yellerly, the LMP2 leader in the yellow and black-nosed Inter Europol car. Robert Kubica on this valedictory lap, the final lap of Le Mans 2025. A private Ferrari, privately entered, privately funded, probably privately owned as well, run by AF Corsa. We always say, if a Matteo Ferrari's team is not in your sports car race, are you even having a sports car race? They are part of the factory Ferrari operation. This operation also run out of Fiorano, the Ferrari test track and the home of Corsa Clienti and Ferrari Endurance Racing. And now the teams are starting to head to the pit wall. They have started the last lap. They are waiting for Robert Kubica to make it through to the end. He will take no chances in traffic, And I'm sure that all of the teams are being warned that the leader is coming up behind you. Just keep it clean. And for Kubica, who has been in for Anthony Davidson, how many laps now? 50 laps plus. This is an epic end to the race. His two teammates, Yifei, we saw all of last season how good he can be behind the wheel of this hypercar, and this year Phil Hansen has absolutely graduated Magnum cum laude. He's been a star in the race, he's been a star in the season, and the AF Corsa team are waiting. Headlights flashing on the 20 BMW, that is running. The number 15 car has been pushed back out again. It won't be the top step of the podium for Porsche. It won't be any disgrace, though, for the crew of the number 6, two of whom are our reigning drivers' champions. And into the Porsche curves for the final time. They are waiting. 350,000 fans are waiting. Millions worldwide are waiting. For the third year in a row, the prancing horse will top the podium at Le Mans. 51 broke a long drought in 2023. 51 last year, and the 83 AF Corsa Ferrari wins Le Mans 2025. What a story, and what a final 2 hours plus from Robert Kubica. 15 seconds at the line ahead of Kevin Est's Porsche, and the two Ferrari teammates, 51 and 50, will follow him through. We have the LMGT3 leader coming to the line, and there are the 51 and 50 cars, as victory in LMGT3 goes to Manthey First Form, Porsche number 92, and Richard Leeds, for the second time in 3 years, the second time in 2 years, brings the car across the line. And Ryan Hardwick, who was thrilled beyond measure to win last time out, I have no idea how he's going to feel now. Still waiting for Nick Yellerly in Into Europole competitions, number 43 car, to come to the line. There he is with the black and yellow body. So he has crossed the line behind Robert Kubica. Now there he is, right, that's the other car. So there he is, Nick Yellerly in the LMP2 winning car from Into Europole. And Jako Śmiechowski, his third podium, I beg your pardon, his second podium in 3 years. No, he was second last year in the 34 car. He won 2 years ago in the 34 car. So gold, silver, gold in the last 3 races for Into Europole. And Ye Yifei, the first ever Chinese winner at Le Mans outright. Into Europole do it again. Manthey do it again. And Ferrari have their third win in a row.
Ricky Perra, Ryan Hardwick delighted with all of that. The other winner, of course, aboard the 43 car, Tom Dillman, with a full part in that effort.
Phil, a few words from you. It must be an amazing feeling, finally released.
5 years after the
It's really, honestly, I just need to say thank you to the team. It's been a crazy race, you know. Yeah, the relief, honestly. That's more than it is.
As a privateer as well.
Yeah, honestly, but it's a big Ferrari family, so that's what matters.
Congratulations, go and celebrate.
Wow. 59 laps, 3.5 hours. Superman doesn't always wear red.
They will have to pour him out of that car. Astounding stuff.
Thank goodness he's got 2 young teammates who can pull him out, because, yeah, he's going to be absolutely shattered. Into Europole, their second win in 3 years, their third straight top 2 finish after finishing second last year behind the number 22 from United.
But yeah, you all deserve it, and for hard work. It has been a long 24 hours, but enjoyable. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy. Grazie mille. Grazie a tutti.
Grazie Robert, sei stato fenomenale. Senza di te non l'avremmo mai vinta. Congratulazioni.
And congratulations in Polish to our first ever Polish winner. Aston Martin, 12th place, 15th place. Both cars, 13th and 15th rather, both cars at the line. You can't argue with that. Now, they need to find more pace, but they have got a car that will survive the 24 hours where others have not. They finished ahead of BMW, both BMWs. They finished ahead of Peugeot and the number 8 Toyota. Not a bad job at all for their first Le Mans in hypercar. And for Antonella Coletta,
Fernandino Canizzo.
Ferdy. Happy boys, 3 years in a row. This program has been a massive success for Ferrari and a massive boost for sports car racing audiences globally, because let's make no bones about it, having the prancing horse winning your races brings a lot of eyes to the party.
49 finishes for this great race, and congratulations to all of them. Just to get it home is an achievement. I'm not sure we did mention the LMP2 Pro-Am winners. AO by TF will be third overall, 199. Up we go.
Yeah, how does that feel to win Le Mans first and also to be the first Chinese driver to win Le Mans?
It's a dream come true, really. I have to pinch myself to see if I'm still dreaming. Yeah, super thankful to the team to win Le Mans back to back. My teammates, my mechanics, engineers did a wonderful job. Yeah, I'm just out of speech.
The feeling is gonna come up, you'll see. Congratulations, amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
Anthony, we said after the 6 hours of Spa, which felt like 20 minutes, it can't be like this at Le Mans, can it? Well, it sort of was, but spread out a little bit more because it's 4 times as long.
It wasn't quite as hard fought in terms of the amount of competition at the front, but it was exceptionally political at times in terms of strategy, and I think that wore a lot of people down. You can really hear, even though we heard from the winner himself, Robert Kubica, he can barely bring himself to be emotional because he's just mentally worn down from this 24 hours that's come his way, let alone those last 59 laps that he drove.
He's going to sleep well, isn't he?
Most certainly will for about a week, I'd have thought. I say that 49 car finishing order. 18 of our 21 starters in hypercar finished in the top 18 positions.
Yep. Consistency
all the way down through the order. The only car, by the way, out of position in class was the delayed 15 BMW that did take the finish.
Batty Pregliasco with his back towards us. Chef d'équipe at AF Corsa. If Batty doesn't know what's going on, it's absolutely not happening. And all the cars now picking up as much debris as they can. And you see in that long shot on the run down towards Indianapolis how filthy the hard shoulder of the road is. I mean, it's made up of light gravel anyway, but it's just covered in muck. Anytime you have to go around there, Anthony, to pass somebody, you get to Indianapolis, one of the fastest, ballsiest corners in any circuit, with muck all over your tyres and only half the cornering and stopping power.
Well, we saw what it did with Fuoco when he went off in the Porsche curves, but it's, yeah, you pick up this weight in the car, and it's much needed.
Ryan Hardwick, winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. How does that feel?
Well, it doesn't even sound real, and you know, it's not me. I mean, I'm so grateful to be a part of this team. Manthey, they definitely know how to win. They've been here before, and I'm just extremely grateful to be a part of it this year. It's this sport is a team sport. I mean, it takes an army. And man, for all of the people, there's so many people, both at the workshop, here on track, mechanics, engineers, team that prepare for this. My co-drivers, Ricardo and Richard. I mean, I'm truly blessed and honored to be their teammates. And yeah, it's a defining moment of my life. I mean, it's the greatest day of my life. And I've had my family here with me, my wife, my oldest son. My youngest son couldn't be here. He's still very young. He's at home with his grandmother, Ledger. I'm sorry you're not here, man. We're going to have to win it again when you can come, but we'll be home soon. We'll be bringing home a really big trophy.
He must be very, very proud of his dad. Now go and enjoy the podium.
I will. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So the 2025 Le Mans 24 Hours, in the end, the resilience of the 83 AF Corsa team held out. They just grounded out against all their opposition. Several times in World Endurance races, they've been asked to move to one side for the red factory cars. This time, they were asked to move aside again. Phil Hansen there without the cap on. He was the man who held off the 51 Ferrari in the middle of the night for an entire stint until just allowing the 51 car through. But he, Ye Yafei and Robert Kubica, that is a proper driving lineup. Each played their part and each, I think, really carried the weight of that team on their shoulders and did so with enormous resilience and maturity.
And I need some water or Coke, anything. I was not expecting to do 5 stints in the end of 24 hours.
Yeah, he's absolutely spent, isn't he, Robert Kubica? And you know what? The Ferrari dream was there for him in Formula One, wasn't it? Let's not forget that, before his horrific rallying incident, which severed his right arm badly, and he still to this day drives pretty much one-handed. But I hope there's a bit of him that can take a bit of solace from what he's just achieved here with Ferrari today. I know it's not, you know, from driver to driver, Robert, amazing what you've done. I applaud you immensely and be proud of what you've achieved in a Ferrari here at Le Mans today.
I think he will. There's no question about it. Right now, he's going to be struggling even to think straight. He wasn't expected to do 5 stints. Nobody expected him to do 5 stints.
You were leading, and we saw you going second, and then the other car, BDS, had a problem, and you're finally winning Le Mans. How do you feel?
Incredible, as we say, Le Mans.
And they know how it happens, because they watched it happen last year with the 50 car, and they watched it happen the year before with the 51 car, from different teams in different classes. And Phil Hansen, a winner here in LMP2, now an outright winner.
Now,
where is my teammates? They were supposed to be here. I want them here.
They should be there normally. Batti is bringing them to you.
No, that's not the way that works. You've got to go to them. You've got to drive to the podium.
Hang on, I think they've got the message. I think there might be some wall jumping going on here.
Don't break an ankle. That's all I'm saying now. Don't hurt yourselves.
Don't go full rain. Never go full rain.
I think they might and should start a new tradition here, surely.
Yeah.
How much cooler to be on the side of the car driving along on the actual racetrack, not the pit lane, backwards.
100%. Now, everybody's watching this is going to do exactly the same. Checkered flag for the driver, stop on the line, teammates join. Now, they're going to have to jog all the way down the pit straight.
It's like they haven't done 5 stints.
But look at the crowd alongside. Just look at the sea of humanity.
No, look, he's driving to them. How romantic. That's what teammates are all about.
And these are the moments of it that they will remember all their life. Grandpa, what did you do in a yellow car? Well, son, let me tell you.
Wow, followed by the drone as well. This is epic scenes here at Le Mans.
You're absolutely right, Anthony. A new tradition is born. That's the way to do it from now on. Anything else, anticlimactic. Of course, when he hoiks on the handbrake, they're flung off into the gravel trap. Excellent, excellent stuff. It may not be the way that it was planned, but nothing about this race goes the way it's planned. You have plan A, B, C, all the way to Z. You have every possible eventuality covered, and still this place comes up with things that you've never thought of.
Let's not forget, by the way, this wipes away an unhappy memory from 2021 for 2 of these winners. They were both sharing that WRT Orica that stopped on the very final lap. This will wipe that one away. Sadly, you don't get that opportunity in your career, Ant Davidson, and that's said with respect for what you achieved. But these guys,
me, Graham.
this is
all
fantastic.
About them. All about them.
Ifeye, massively proud, 24-year-old from the People's Republic of China. Phil Hansen, another young man, adding another massive trophy on his mantelpiece.
None bigger. None, well, physically and also metaphorically, none bigger.
And Phil Hansen, you know, he was so resilient. He had some moments where he went wide off the track, but he brought the car back and didn't give up hope. He didn't give up the fight to keep the red Ferraris within striking distance the whole time. He kept his head in that moment.
Right, boys, you are genuinely going to have to help this man out of his car.
He's made of tougher stuff than that.
Isn't he, though? You might have to hold him up on the podium, though, because as the adrenaline sinks away, Anthony, you know what happens. Everything comes to you then. The emotion, the exhaustion.
I just want to see someone hand him a drink.
Yes.
He asked for it about half an hour ago, didn't he? He's thinking, forget the checkered flag, on something else.
What does a man have to do to get a beer around here, anyway?
Well, I mean, there's a marketing opportunity there. He was asking for a water or a Coke or something.
Yeah. Well, you know, big bottle of milk, any of those. There's a great shot. There's one for the ages.
Absolute joy.
2010 Audi North America, last privateer team to win. But barely yesterday, 15 years ago already, 2006. 21 years, 19 years, whatever it is. Oh. Now, Graham, you and I were in Maranello and Fiorano just a month ago, seeing the Ferrari team at home and talking about the prospects for Le Mans. And the celebrations when they get back there are going to be monumental.
Everybody's familiar with the historic site of the traditional Ferrari factory entrance. There are two large Ferrari flags above the door, above the archway, when we were there for the first two races in the WEC. Not for Formula One, they're not winning there, they're winning the WEC. This is going to be a much bigger flag. This is going to be quite the parade.
Well, there is Bibendum, the Michelin man, winner of the hypercar category, and of course Goodyear, winners of and suppliers, tyre suppliers to LMP2 and LMGT3. Nick Yellerly, well, 24 hours of Le Mans victory. I know that there's a very proud dad, David. The boy done good.
I'm utterly delighted for Interpol competition. I am bereft for VDS Panis Racing.
Yep.
They had it and they lost it.
They had it very briefly. These guys have had the upper hand for the last 6 hours. They've got to the stage, they worked themselves to the stage where even pitting didn't lose them the lead, didn't cost them victory. Now the car on the dollies, being turned around and put under the podium.
Some team members from Inter-Europol running over to congratulate Robert Kubica as well.
Of course, they're all Poles.
A massive national hero.
Yep.
You know, a massive national sporting hero, and correctly so. The spirit of the man. That 3.5 hours at the end of that race, when it was all on the table.
Well, this young man, Ye Yifei, what a star he's going to be in China, winning this race in a Ferrari, not in an LMP2 car or a Porsche or something or other, in a Ferrari.
He's by a distance the most storied Chinese racing driver in history. Right now, today, that's what he's done. The same for Robert Kubica in his great country too. It's an astounding performance from him as a young man.
Yeah. And a still growing motor industry in China. This will be big news over there.
Massive news. This is
tomorrow's papers. I'm sure it would be, you know, a Chinese racing driver winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Well, tomorrow's papers are already out.
Well,
it's already tomorrow, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Certainly all over the news. certainly these pictures will be, I mean, they'll be global, won't they? Because it's Ferrari, because it is Ferrari, and because it's Le Mans, and because of the humanity of the whole thing.
How's that water feeling? A bit special? Grande Roby!
Yeah, it's been a long one. My 5th Le Mans has been always close. Okay, first 3 years I raced in LMP2, but the amount of the laps my car, which I was racing, did in top 3 positions over this 5 Le Mans, I think is like 70–80% of the laps. So finally managed to win it, and in hypercar. So overall, yeah, the Rolex will be a nice one. So yeah, great job from everyone. We have been strong. It has not been a smooth one, but yeah, we deserve it. We have been fast. Only a few mistakes which we could avoid, but that's Le Mans, and yeah, happy for Ferrari. 3 years in a row with 3 different crews, different cars. Congratulations to them, it's amazing.
Yeah, the last stint, we were thinking that there was going to be a driver change. You asked for a driver change.
No, I didn't ask. I was asking because I was not supposed to do 5 stints, you know. In the end of 24-hour race, to do, I don't know, 5 stints is what? For 3 hours something in the car. But yeah, fortunately, I managed to control everything with always cold head and no mistakes. So yeah, when I need to, I pushed. When I didn't need to, I preserved tires and managed to bring it home.
Congratulations, always cold-headed. Thank you, Robert. Congratulations.
The crowd to move forward to the iconic podium, Bibendum.
Getting the bumps.
Absolutely. One of the longest established mascots in history.
And why is he white? Because originally tyres were white before they were vulcanized with carbon black.
That's what rubber is in its purest form.
Yeah.
Richard, winning Le Mans. Again, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, to be honest. To win it back-to-back, it's something special, and I'm happy that Manthey gave me the trust again this year, put me in the WEC, and together with Ryan and Ricky, we have a fantastic team. We are very happy, and we had already a bit of a success in the WEC, but Le Mans is on everybody's bucket list, and we did it now this year, and it feels very special. And I'm very happy that they got their first win here, and it was a good 2 weeks for us.
Yeah, you've always been under pressure towards the end. WEC is the same here again, and you manage again as well, like Robert, cold-headed until the end.
To be honest, it was, for me, a very nice Le Mans because not so many safety cars. It was like the good old Le Mans spirit where it's endurance racing, and I think a safety car would have had a big trouble for us. So the green racing was important. We had good stints. Well, the tire lasted for 3 stints and a good pace over the 3 stints, and this was the key.
Okay, congratulations again, and go and enjoy the podium.
Thank you very much.
2020. We didn't have fans here back in the days of COVID. It was still special.
But it wasn't this.
But it wasn't this. It's a sea of humanity.
Yep. And there you go. Gates are open for them to swarm in from the grandstands. If they can all squeeze through, that's going to take a while, but you can see lots of people making their way there. And so there's no rush about this. I think the ACO probably finally realise that broadcasters aren't going away. If they've committed to 24 hours, what's another 30 minutes? Polish flags, Robert Kubica flags, Ferrari flags, Toyota flags, the flags of all nations. And that's one of the great things here, actually, is it's in France. It's one of France's national institutions, but it is such a multilingual audience here.
And it's a fabulous atmosphere on the spectator banks. Really, friendships are made that last for decades here. You travel with friends and family, You make friends while you're here. You see them again the following year. You converse through the year. You build up these bonds through sports and through the endeavours that you watch from the trackside.
And you meet people whose language you don't understand, whose culture you know nothing about, from the other side of the planet or next door, and everybody is here with one shared commonality, their passion for Le Mans, their passion for sports car racing, and especially so at this place. So wherever they come from, whatever language they speak, you've got more in common with them than your next door neighbour. Oh, and they're nicking bits of signage as well as they go. Well, that'll be a nice, there they go, nice souvenir in somebody's man shed.
So passionate they end up stealing stuff.
Well, it used to be the case that in the final few laps the teams would be pulling down the boards and the nameplates and everything off the garage and hiding them away because they'd have to pay for them otherwise. I think they're a little bit higher up these days.
Just look at that train of fans going all the way down to Tete Rouge. Absolutely astounding sight.
But all week, hasn't it? It's felt busier than last year, by far.
It's been so busy. Busy and earlier. That's the point. They're coming for longer. It's becoming a bigger event, not just at its maximum capacity on race day, but down through the whole race week.
In the white shirt, Thierry Bouvet, one of the technical chiefs here at the ACO FIA, responsible for looking after the administration of this championship. They're the guys that try and balance all the cars together, and it ain't easy.
But
yeah, just, and you know, we've all been there, apart from Anthony, we've all been there as punters, you know, standing behind the fence, watching it all happen, sleeping in the dirt, drinking too much beer, eating the wrong foods, carb loading, all of that nonsense. And it's all the passion. It's all just for this thing. It's remarkable. I mean,
if you've not been here, get here. If you can't get here, go to a sports car race somewhere. Go to a WC race. It's Father's Day. We've said it before. We'll say it one more time. If you're in North America, come and watch the show at COTA. Father's Day offer right now. Take your father. If your father, take your son or your daughter.
Yeah,
we'd love to see you.
And Brazil, and Japan, and Bahrain.
Tom, what a Le Mans finish, leading, and then you had to go through the pit lane, and again, second only an hour ago, and now winning at the end. So that was just amazing and crazily end of a race.
Yeah, big roller coaster, a big battle all race long with VDS Panis. Respect to them was incredible. We were leading, then we lost a minute in the pit with a little mistake, and then we came back, and then we stayed within 10 seconds in the last 3 or 4 hours. It was really tough battle, pushing every lap, and yeah, I mean, Le Mans chooses its winner, and we saw it again today.
Thank you, and congratulations, it's to the podium for you.
Thank you.
And with the approval of a seal, you will be very welcome on FIA WC TV. It's again, for the entire season, under 50 euros. So 40 quid, 50 bucks. Wherever you are watching, you get the opportunity to see everything live. It's very well worthwhile. Charlie Eastwood with the TF Sport crew.
Going to make the podium.
Yes, they are.
It's a great result for TF Sport, for Corvettes and all 3 drivers of the 81 car.
And for Harter Racing, 4th place for the 27 Aston Martin, but Ian James and his crew brought 3 cars here, 2 hypercars and an LMGT3 car, all 3 finished.
Absolutely.
And that ain't easy.
No, Mansai though, what a powerhouse.
Yeah.
What a powerhouse they are in GT racing, and they'll go forward to next week and another 24-hour race around the Nürburgring.
And Rickard Leitz, he was another one that was in the car for a long time at the end. It seemed like every time I watched what was going on in LMGT3 and Manthey Racing, Leitz was at the wheel.
He's a weightlifter there, but Ricky Perra, the silver driver in that car, played an enormous part in that win.
You don't win if there's a weak link in the chain. You just don't. You absolutely can't. It's far too relentless in all 3 classes. everybody has to be absolutely on the money 100% of the time. Three-peat for Ferrari. I'm not sure what that is in Italian or Polish, but I know it feels good. Look at them. And so it starts. Just distracting your teammate mid-interview. That's going to play out for weeks and weeks every time they do something.
I'm just watching those shots of AFA with Robert Kubica, just how important a part in what is going to be a glittering career for the young Chinese driver is Robert Kubica going to prove to have been.
And Phil Hansen as well. I mean, what an epic coming of age this race has been.
What a mighty decision he made. And the team he's got around him to make the move from Jota, where he had a good drive there to make the move to this 83 squad.
Ill-advised headwear, I think, in these temperatures. Viking horned helmets.
They've probably got a beer underneath it.
Well, you'd hope, at the very least.
There is the somewhat redesigned, but still absolutely iconic podium behind the gantry overlooking the pit lane, and as you'll see when the cameras point the other way, what will prove to be a sea of humanity, and enthusiastic humanity at that.
This is such a strange place to be in this anteroom to the podium. Combination of jubilation and disappointment, because you're within touching distance almost. Remember the first time in this new podium room, Alan McNish and the boys had just won in the Porsche GT1 98, and sitting in the corner, just out of shot to the right there, right in the corner on the edge of the sofa, Bob Wallett was sobbing his heart out. Because second wasn't it, and he knew that was probably his last best chance. And it's that, I mean, motorsport, Anthony, is massive disappointments with occasional spikes of delight, right?
Absolutely. Don't forget as well that this room is also full of scents that you never ever want to smell ever again.
Ripeness, you're saying?
It's all going on in there. Yeah.
So
you've got
glad
the fresh faces and their suits and their perfume. Then you've got some other perfume going on from racing drivers, and it's not pretty.
And they haven't even champagne yet, so they don't smell like winners. Or they actually probably do smell like winners. So glad that Bruce Ioane is down in the pit lane in the fresh air away from us as well. It's been a long, hot weekend to be wearing a race suit at this track. Lots of social media work going on. This is going to be all over everything on your phone, everything online. Richie Leitz still has the energy to ruin the roof of another car. Ricardo Pera. And the man who is living the dream right now on the left-hand side, isn't he? Absolutely. He was so jubilant to win a World Championship race for the first time in his career. And now, Le Mans victory to go with it. And he told me when we were in Qatar in the pre-season that it wasn't easy persuading the sponsors to go again and to change team after what was a brutally tough year last year in the Proton Mustangs. But boy, it's worked out well.
I bet they're glad they did now. Well done, boys. Ryan Hardwick, Ricky Pera and Richard Leitz.
That smile isn't going to come off Ryan Hardwick's face in a long time, is it? He'll still be beaming like a Cheshire cat when we get to our next round in Sao Paulo, Brazil in a month's time. Back out onto the podium for the second time, the crew of car number, third time in a row, in fact, the crew of car number 51, victorious in 2023, third place in 2024, third place again in 2025, our championship leaders. Second place, and stellar work from Porsche Penske Motorsport, Kevin Est, Lawrence Vantor leading the field out, or leading the trio out. A really, really tough race. Matt Campbell joined them in that car, having moved over from number 5. The head of Porsche Endurance Racing, Thomas Laudenbach, alongside them. And now listen to the response. Our race winners at Le Mans 2025 from AF Corsa in their Ferrari 499P. Robert Kubica, Phil Hansen, and Ye Yifei. The first crew to win outside Le Mans for Ferrari. They did that in Texas last year. They have been in the battle at each of the races this season. And now they have won the greatest one of them all. That is a very proud bunch of Italians, every man jack of them singing the anthem. So to present the trophies, our MC, the speaker here at the track, Bruno von der Steeg, introducing the president of the OCO, Pierre Fillon.
The trophies to the driver for the third place. Mesdames et messieurs, les pilotes en troisième position. The drivers are with number 51 Ferrari.
So for the 51 Ferrari, Antonio Giovinazzi on the left, in the centre, Alessandro Pierguidi on the right, James Collado. They know what it feels like to win here. They were the first to do it for Ferrari in over half a century in 2023.
Avec Dominique Lemenaire, président du conseil départemental de la Sarthe, mais également président du syndicat mixte
the Department de la Sarthe is the region of France in which Le Mans is the capital, or of which Le Mans is the capital.
President of La Sarthe, but also of the syndicat mixte of the Le Mans
present the trophies to Thomas Laudenbach, to Matty Campbell, Lawrence Van Toor, the brothers speaking after Spa, and to Kevin Est. Lawrence Van Toor, one of 3 pairs of brothers in the race. I think he's the only one who'll be on the podium.
Marshall, des 24 heures du Mans, a 4-time Le Mans winner. Yannick Dalmas now for the presentation of the trophies to the winner. Yannick Dalmas, mesdames et messieurs,
has also been our safety car driver, or one of our 2 safety car drivers, along with Pedro Casero. Yannick Dalmas, 4 wins at Le Mans for 4 different manufacturers.
Mesdames et messieurs, les trophées pour Phil
Hansen, Robert Kubica, and Ye Yifei, your race winners. They have their individual trophies.
C'est aussi un plaisir d'accueillir
the big trophy
je vous en prie, ministre
will head
du tourisme pour la
Maranello.
remise
and particularly to Fiorano, the head of Ferrari Endurance Racing.
Welcome, Sir Lady Nathalie Delattre, who is the Tourism Minister of France, for the presentation of the Cup from the President of la République. Merci à Madame Nathalie Delattre, ministre du Tourisme, pour la remise de ce trophée. Et Mesdames et Messieurs, Président Pierre Fillon, nous allons vous remettre de nouveau à contribution pour la remise des médailles de la Fédération internationale de l'automobile. Le Président pour la remise, en effet, des médailles. Now, President Pierre Fillon again.
I thought he said the President of the Republic was coming. I thought,
of course, to the race winners,
that's like having the King presenting the trophies at the British Grand Prix, but it is the President of the ACO. I was conflating my government and ACO.
These are the FIA medals being presented.
Les trophées qui vont bien. Parce qu'effectivement, c'est une course de 24 heures.
Another
24 heures,
riveting Le Mans 24 hours.
Celle que tout le monde veut. Naturellement,
and do they still get the Rolex?
I'd say with that branding behind them,
I would say so
they
too.
do. Daytona's coming their way.
Now, what they haven't got is a personalised mug.
Yeah.
Avoir le plaisir de remettre, parce que c'est naturellement très symbolique avec vous, Eric Colombin. Les trophées, les montres Rolex qui marquent effectivement
but here come the very, very special Rolex watches.
Pouvoir voir ainsi remis à l'équipage de la Ferrari numéro 83 par Eric Colombin, directeur général de Rolex France.
And again, that is not one that is going to go in the top drawer. That is one that is going to go on the wrist and be worn every day for the rest of your life.
No excuses to be late again, boys.
Matty Pregliasco there, doing a bit of selfie work.
Oui, oui, mettez bien.
Oh, give them back. What? No. No, no.
We'll keep them safely for you.
They will be kept in the dry because, of course, the next thing that we have to do is make them smell like winners. The big trophy, 3 consecutive victories at Le Mans for Ferrari. A massive trophy and a massive moment.
Hard earned for this 83 crew. No doubt whatsoever about that.
It's nearly time for those who are in proper clothes to scarper.
Well, may I ask you once again, everybody, to raise your trophy. Allez, tous les pilotes, prenez de nouveau, une nouvelle fois, tous vos trophées.
Awful lot of our photography colleagues down below the podium looking for the shot.
Show them to the fans. Mesdames et messieurs, prenez vos trophées.
Hansen was going, Kubica actually was going to go early with the champagne. Photos first. More photos after.
And now, please, what everybody expects. Yes, ça fait partie de la tradition. Champagne!
So breaking loose with the Pommery champagne. The vineyard owned by the family of one of our chief stewards, Yves Bachelet. Does seem slightly like a waste of a good Magnum or Nebuchadnezzar or whatever. And now we have the annual ritual of dropping the bottle as it's dropped off the podium. Which mechanic has the safest hands has 5 kilos of wet slippery glass rockets down towards him.
No pressure.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. There is your overall victory podium. And in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari now top 200 points. Toyota second, 11 ahead of Porsche, with a very tight battle for 4th place between Cadillac and BMW. And then the French brands, Alpine in 6th, Peugeot in 7th, and Aston Martin with the Valkyries in 8th position. but Ferrari stretching their legs at the front of the field. And in the Drivers' Championship, it's the crew of 51 who came in here with the lead. They retain that lead, but look who is up to second with a bullet, or 50 points more accurately. Phil Hansen, Robert Kubica and Ye Yifei. They have jumped ahead of the 50 car that won the first race of the season.
Hopefully you will remember this day as we will remember all. It's a special weekend for us, and yeah, thank you very much for cheering. Thanks. Dziękuję bardzo. I did already.
Ok, c'est vrai, voilà. Mesdames et messieurs, Phil, viens nous voir également. Voilà un petit mot de Phil Hansen, mesdames et messieurs. How is it to win Le Mans? What kind of sensations?
I said it's relief, honestly. The last few minutes and hours went on for a very long while, but it's a dream come true.
Et mesdames et messieurs, le héros de tout un peuple, Yifei, yeah!
Bonjour, Forza Ferrari, Forza Ferrari.
Tu ressens quoi en ce moment?
J'ai pas de parole, franchement, j'ai pas de parole. Merci le public. Merci les commissaires.
Voilà, Yifei, mesdames et messieurs, vainqueur de ces 24 heures du Mans. Le petit mot, naturellement, sur ce podium, voilà, comme le veut bien sûr la tradition. Avant, évidemment, l'acte 2 de ce podium qui va nous permettre, puisque nous sommes évidemment en championnat du monde, et bien tout simplement de mettre en avant les résultats des voitures de la catégorie des GT3.
The commissaire, the marshals, the Orange Army in fluent French.
Prenez vos trophées, messieurs, prenez également vos couronnes de laurier parce que vous le méritez bien. Vous rentrez dans l'histoire des 24 heures du Mans. Un podium avec des Porsche et Ferrari pour saluer en effet la victoire de l'équipage numéro 83. Mesdames et messieurs, un ultime salut à Robert Kubica et à l'ensemble des pilotes, naturellement.
Wet weather and a number of safety cars. This year was dry and run at breakneck pace. Anthony Davison, it was absolutely relentless for the teams and the drivers. We said that this might be one for the ages, and in fact it was such a tough race to win. I'm still standing by that.
Merci à Michelin et puis bravo naturellement à tout Ferrari avec bien sûr les Ferrari.
This race was no different, just an elongated version really. It's always a race of attrition, of course, but these cars become more and more reliable, and that puts pressure on all the drivers and the teams to be as impeccable as they can be. And yeah, today was no different.
And Graham Goodwin, history making. Oh, and there's the fumble, but managed to stop it breaking. The first ever overall winner from Poland, the first ever overall winner from China, and a third in a row for Ferrari. All sorts of stories will come out of this one.
They most certainly will. The nature of the win, just the spirit of Robert Kubica in defence of the effort against the factory team, both on track and frankly on the radio as well. The spirit of Porsche to take the fight to them in the dying hours of this race, and beyond that, others too that win this fight for hour after hour. Not the podium.